Ecosystem. Presentation for Class 8 by Kalpana Trived.
As we see around us, a number of living organisms and natural things which lead us to the survival with interacting with each other. Welcoming my all 8th class students. In this video, we will study about ecosystems. What are ecosystems? What are the components of ecosystem? Different types of food chains, food webs, forest ecosystem, and at the end of the video we will be studying about the need to restore ecosystem. So dear students, as we see around us, there are both living as well as non-living factors which make the life possible. Possibility of life is due to dependence of each other, that is, living factors are dependent on non-living factors, as well as to some extent for the survival we see that they are eaten by each other. So let us start with ecosystem. The word ecosystem is derived from Greek word oikos. Oikos is self-derived Greek word and it means a dwelling place. So in this video we will study how living organisms they dwell at a place in a house and they are dependent on each other, that is living factors as well as non-living factors, and what is the need of the presence of both living and non-living factors. So moving ahead, let us study and define what is an ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Let us understand and let us define what is an ecosystem. An ecosystem is a self-contained area composed of all different organisms living it interacting with each other, as well as they interact with the physical conditions such as sunlight, air, water, soil, climatic factors, etc. prevailing in that particular area. So what is an ecosystem? Again, it is a community which is made by interaction of living as well as non-living factors. Now, let us proceed further and see what are the components of ecosystem. Components of ecosystem may be divided as of two types. Number one, abiotic components as well as number two, biotic components. Let us come to abiotic components. What are abiotic components? As the word itself says, divide that word a and biotic means the factors which do not have life they are non-living, they are called as abiotic factors. Let us read one by one what are these abiotic factors. The first abiotic factor is sunlight. Children, remember that sun is the ultimate source of energy. Why sun is called as ultimate source of energy? Sun is called as ultimate source of energy because green plants, they carry the process of photosynthesis, that is preparing the food or carrying the process of photosynthesis, which is the process by which green plants they prepare their own food in presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, minerals, and then they prepare the food in the form of starch, and this is the food which is prepared by the process of photosynthesis, which is consumed by one each level of living organisms. So sunlight is the first abiotic factor which is present in our ecosystem. Second abiotic factor is air. Air, it provides oxygen to the plants and animals for the process of respiration, and carbon dioxide which is given out by animals, it is utilized by plants to carry the process of photosynthesis. In this way, a balance is maintained in our atmosphere. It also survives. The air also survives as the medium for the flight of birds, insects, etc. The third thing, that air, it also serves as agency for dispersal of seeds, fruits and pollens by the flowering plants, and by which the process of reproduction it takes place. Next, the most important factor is water. Water, as you know, is known as universal solvent. It is received by the rainfall and it is absorbed by the soil, and then it is consumed, it is taken by plants, and then it is also required by animals also for drinking from dams, rivers, puddles, etc. The next factor, it is the fourth factor, is warmth. Hot, mild or cold temperatures influences the body fluctuation of the plants as well as animals which are living in their particular area. Next abiotic factor is soil. Soil is in a way is the foremost component of forest and for the matter even for all the ecosystems. The trees, the grass, the bushes, they all require soil to grow, and this soil it provides various nutrients for their growth like sodium, potassium, magnesium. Most of the nutrients they are present in the soil. They are consumed by the plants, as you have studied in your previous lessons, that absorption of water takes place, and along with that absorption of water these nutrients they also reach the branches and the leaves of the plants. It also provides a dwelling place for burrowing animals. You must have noticed rats, rabbits, snakes, they live in the holes and burrows, and this is in the soil. Earthworms, they swallow mud and they give out the organic dead matter which is very nutritious, which is very important for the soil, and therefore earthworms they are also called as friends of the farmer. There are various types of soils which are present in different areas, and that is the way they affect the survival of different types of plants. That is why we find different types of plants in different areas, and it depends upon the soil. Soil may be clay soil, it may be loamy soil, it may be sandy soil, and in this plants they adapt themselves for the growth and their survival. Next is biotic factors. As again I told you, bio means living and tic means factors. These are the factors which are living factors, and these factors are plants. Number one, plants are also called as autotroph. Auto means self, crops means prepare. These are the organisms which prepare their own food, and they are the green plants considered as level 1, trophic level 1. Next is trophic level 2, that is plant eating animals. Now, as these animals are small animals, they are herbivores which eat the plants. Third are flesh eating animals. Flesh eating animals, they eat plant eating animals. Just see the chain. Plants are eaten by herbivores. Herbivores, they are eaten by the next level, we can say carnivores. Next is the bigger flesh eating level, and they are higher carnivores, and these carnivores they may be ranked as first level as well as second level flesh eating animals, and in this way the whole chain is formed. Besides this, we have discussed about plants, autotrophs, then herbivores, and then carnivores. Besides this, small microorganisms are also present in the soil, as well as two very important biotic factors in our ecosystems are decomposers and scavengers. Now, what are decomposers? Decomposers, these are the living organisms which obtain nutrition by the breaking down of dead organic matter. Detrivores such as earthworms, millipedes, etc. they feed on decomposing plants as well as animals. Scavengers, these are the animals which feed on dead animals and plant materials, for example vulture, kites, crows, and some insects are also grouped in this category. In this way, a balance is maintained, a relationship is maintained between abiotic factors and biotic factors. Again, to recall that the chain started from abiotic factors, sun, the ultimate source, sunlight, then air, water, warmth, they all help in the survival of living organisms. And once any living organisms, when we say, they may be plants also and they may be animals also, and when they die, then they are absorbed, they are consumed by either scavengers, or they are decomposed by decomposers, or detrivores. As I have discussed, they also play an important role in maintenance of ecosystem. So there are two types of factors, two components of ecosystem, that is biotic as well as abiotic factors. Now, as we have learned about biotic and abiotic factors, now we will see how these living organisms they interact with abiotic factors. As we see around us, and as we can see in the diagram also, it depicts that plants they are autotrophs. They are the first one to consume abiotic factors, and when they consume these abiotic factors, they prepare their own food. They make their own food. Therefore, they are also called as producers because they carry the process of photosynthesis by consuming abiotic factors and then utilizing them and then preparing the food. So, green plants they are the producers and they are categorized under trophic level 1. Next comes herbivores. Herbivores are included under trophic level 2 and they are also called as primary consumers. Why primary? Because they are the first one to consume plants. For example, green plant is eaten by a grasshopper. Next is carnivores. Carnivores they come under trophic level 3 and these are also called as secondary consumers. Can you see one after the another one they are eaten by each other, and this is how a whole series, a whole chain is maintained. Next, after third trophic level comes the fourth trophic level, and they are called as tertiary consumers. Next, the topmost carnivores, and they are also called as quaternary consumers. Next, we will study about different types of food chain. Children mind, a food chain, it can be very small also and it can be very long, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this way, the number of trophic level. But always remember the first trophic levels are producers, that is the plants which are the autotrophs. In the next session, I'll give you examples of how different types of food chains are made by interconnecting with each other. Now, as we have learned about biotic and abiotic factors, now we will see how these living organisms they interact with abiotic factors. As we see around us, and as we can see in the diagram also, it depicts that plants they are autotrophs. They are the first one to consume abiotic factors, and when they consume these abiotic factors, they prepare their own food. They make their own food. Therefore, they are also called as producers because they carry the process of photosynthesis by consuming abiotic factors and then utilizing them and then preparing the food. So, green plants they are the producers and they are categorized under trophic level 1. Next comes herbivores. Herbivores are included under trophic level 2, and they are also called as primary consumers. Why primary? Because they are the first one to consume plants. For example, green plant is eaten by a grasshopper. Next is carnivores. Carnivores, they come under trophic level 3, and these are also called as secondary consumers. Can you see? One after the another one, they are eaten by each other, and this is how a whole series, a whole chain is maintained. Next, after third trophic level comes the fourth trophic level, and they are called as tertiary consumers. Next, the topmost carnivores, and they are also called as quaternary consumers. Next, we will study about different types of food chain. Children mind, a food chain, it can be very small also, and it can be very long, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this way, number of trophic level. But always remember, the first trophic levels are producers, that is the plants, which are the autotrophs. In the next session, I'll give you examples of how different types of food chains are made by interconnecting with each other. Students, as you can see in the diagram, one side food chain is there and on the other side food web is there. Food chain, we have learned that it is the sequence where one is eaten by another in order to maintain the survival and balance in the ecosystem. What are food chains? Food chains are interconnection of number of food chains. Grass is eaten by rabbit and rabbit is eaten by eagle. Another food chain we can consider, grass is eaten by grasshopper and grasshopper is eaten by bird. Then third food chain we can consider, grass is eaten by mouse and mouse is eaten by bird. Then another food chain we can consider, that grass is eaten by grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by bird, and bird is eaten by eagle. In the same way, one more food chain can be there, snake. If we see, it is eaten by eagle. So there are number of food chains as shown in the diagram. This interconnection of food chains is called as food web. There is one advantage of food web, that it provides the food as well as survival even if one food source is scarce. In case of scarcity, if one source is not available, then an individual can obtain another source of food. So this is the advantage of food web, and difference we can see in the diagram, that single chain, it forms the food chain, and number of food chains, they form food web. What is a pyramid? A pyramid is a diagram or a diagrammatic representation which has a large base and a small narrow apex. The large base, it shows that the number of individuals are more on the first level, and as we move higher they become lesser and lesser. For example, if we see the number of grasses, it is more. Grass is consumed by deer, that is, I'm talking about a food chain. It is consumed by deer, then the number of deers is comparatively less to that of grass. And if we see that deer is eaten by lion, then lion, it is only one. That is, the number is reducing as we are moving up. This is called as pyramid of number. And again, a diagram which represents the number of individuals in a trophic level from base to apex is called as pyramid of number. The same in terms of mass. What is mass? Mass is the total content which is present in a living organism, in a living body. So if we see the base of a pyramid, that means if we gather together all the grass and take its mass, it is more as compared to that of mass of all the deers and then the mass of lion or a tiger. So again, to summarize, what is a pyramid? Pyramid is a diagrammatic representation of number of individuals or the mass of individuals. Pyramids, they are of two types. Number one, pyramid of number and pyramid of biomass. So again, this shows that the autotrophs are more, and as we move higher towards the consumer, the number as well as mass, it becomes less. Now, to sum up, at the end, we will discuss why there is the need to restore our ecosystem. There is a need to restore our ecosystem. We have seen that ecosystem, it consists of abiotic and biotic factors. The first need is to maintain an healthy environment. Number two, to retain its delicacy, to retain its integrity. Next is to preserve wildlife, and there are number of centuries also where these animals they live. So to preserve our flora and fauna, there is a need to restore an ecosystem. What is flora? Flora is the vegetative part of the ecosystem, and fauna is the animal part of an ecosystem. So children, at the end of this video, a message that we get from our ecosystem is that if you have love for nature, you will never think of disturbing the ecosystem and preserve its integrity and preserve its delicacy.